Morning, Basil. How we doing?
Morning, Alex. How are we, sir?
Very good, very good. Really early today, to be honest, it
It
shows.
shows, yeah,
So
yeah. We thought we'd do an
let's
early
keep
one.
let's keep to the point. What do we have this
Well,
week?
today we've got Pieces of a Woman, which I think we were both slightly impressed by. The director is Kornel Mundruczo, probably butchered
Yeah,
that.
Hungarian
Starring
director. Yeah,
Hungarian one, yeah, formerly a White God, which you've seen, haven't you?
he's done White God, which is a really truly good film
Yeah,
back in the day. But yeah,
we got
2014 was
two
that
big
one.
stars in this one as well. We got Vanessa Kirby, and I think
Hmm?
she's in. Is it The Crown? If I've got that right, I
Yes,
believe, yeah.
yeah.
And Shia LaBeouf, which obviously we're both big fans of. So two big stars, decent director. Essentially, the film starts out. It's kind of like
So
a rom com with
it's
no comedy.
it's on Netflix. Is that right?
Netflix is the one. Yeah, that's
Netflix. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
platform
yeah.
we both
Cool.
watched it on. So the film starts out essentially. It's kind of like a relationship story. That's what I'd call it. I wouldn't call it a rom com. Uh, so
Sure, sure.
it's about a couple essentially just trying to have a baby, and some things don't go according to plan, and then the rest of the film is kind of just a story of what it's like to be in a relationship when things don't go to plan. Simply put, that's what it is, with a few
Yeah,
family
that's
affairs
true.
as
Very,
well.
yeah, simply put. Yeah, yeah.
So now, why did we choose this, Alex?
So first of all, I'm a big fan of Vanessa Kirby, and she's not because of The Crown. I haven't seen The Crown. I hands up, I haven't seen it, but she's really
Neither have
good
I.
actress in everything else she's played. It's been heavily reviewed, this film, because of that performance and because of the sensitive subject. So basically, it tells the story of the trauma that can happen during childbirth
Yeah,
and
because
after,
not to
especially
not to
after.
give anything away, but it features a home birth, doesn't it? The couple have
Correct.
decided, Vanessa Kirby and
Correct.
Shia LaBeouf, to have a home birth.
Yeah.
Now, I think we both agreed.
And that happens in the first 30 minutes. So
30 minutes.
you know,
I think we both agreed that that particular bit of the film, the scene, which is quite a long scene, it seems, of the home birth is quite grueling. I think is the word to watch. Intense and
absolutely,
grueling.
especially
To
for
watch.
people that haven't witnessed it
Yes,
directly.
yeah. And I think anyone who's
So,
actually considering it, any couple who are considering doing this, should watch this film. To be
yes,
honest.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
And then, so the rest of the story, the couple Shia LaBeouf and Vanessa Kirby, the rest of the story just goes through how they deal with what happens in that first half an hour.
Yeah.
Is really heartbreaking, to be honest. It starts really really strong, and the as it happens, everything, the trauma in the first 20 minutes impacts the whole family, and over a long period of time, because the film, I think, happens over a few years, and it just shows, from a beautiful family that is in the beginning, and the excitement of having a child, how it goes all the way down to, I don't want to spoil
Almost
it, but,
depression,
yeah,
almost depression
exactly,
in the later half of the
exactly.
film. But I mean, we were
What
both.
did you thought of it?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, we were both kind of commenting, wasn't it? I think that we kept going on about the first half an hour of the film being as fantastic as it is, because you really are thrown into their shoes. It's like,
Correct.
the film essentially starts off with them buying a car, and it seems like they're quite a happy couple, and it's just a normal relationship. And then all of a sudden, there's a scene where they're both in the kitchen, and you think this is just going to be a 2-minute scene where they're chatting, and it just throws you straight into how they act their lives, because she starts getting contractions, and you think, oh, is this just kind of like a false alarm? But it isn't. And then it's this kind of like, these really long set pieces where it almost doesn't seem to cut from scene to scene.
Correct,
But
yeah.
we both think it could have been a little bit better, this film, don't we, Alex?
So my personal opinion, well,
When you came
20 to 30
away
minutes,
from the viewing, what your feeling was like mine? I think it was like, this could have been better as a film.
I mean, it's like setting the standards really high with the first 20 minutes, and then not following those standards. That's what I
Yeah.
thought, because I'm not saying the subject is very sensitive and is very important, but the way the film, it's like turning down the volume after the half an hour, because instead of exploring, from a psychological level, for example, their relationship from between him and her, it just goes down the route of following the implications of what's it called, the lady that was helped with the birth at home. what's it called?
The midwife. The midwife.
The midwife.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned her yet.
The implications of her, and if it was her fault or not, and all of that stuff. So instead of focusing, so it loses a bit of the focus after that, which slightly disappointed me towards the end because it could have been so much better than that. But the actress keeps the film going because her performance is Oscar worthy from my point of view. To be honest, she's just consistently good, and without actually crying a lot or anything like that. Her face just shows what happens inside in her mind and in her heart, and that's just like
for a film with a lot of tragedy. There's not a lot of tears, is there? And like you still feel it from her. You still feel it.
There are other characters that express themselves, exteriorize their pain in the film, but she just keeps it all inside, and you can see it on the acting. So that's good. What did you thought? Would you recommend it? Would you watch it in the cinema?
This is the thing. Well, I probably wouldn't recommend it to certain people. I would recommend it to anyone who's in a relationship, anyone who's thinking of having a kid, anyone who's had a kid. Those people be interested. You can imagine mothers especially being interested in this film because it does deal quite closely with what it's like to give birth. So definitely the mothers would be interested. But for me it wasn't like a standout film I've probably seen in the last 6 months. I wouldn't be watching it again. I don't think I'll go to the cinema to watch this one.
I think it's being a Netflix film. I don't think is gonna run in cinemas. I think it's gonna be
but even if it was, it's just not something I would go and see. Maybe it's just not my type of film, but I like big set piece scenes.
I would recommend it for people that want to see an acting masterclass. To be honest, so if you like actors and if you're a fan of Shia LaBeouf or Vanessa Kirby, just watch this film almost like to see how good she is and how she develops as an actor. That's how I would recommend it. Besides what you said, because the topic is important, like you said, and it definitely warrants attention. But that's what I thought. So would we sum it up here, or would you have a spoiler heavy question, or do we do that?
The
scene that sticks with you, besides the 30 minutes single shot scene, which is amazing. Would you have anything?
Mine's not too much of a spoiler, really, as well. Like my favourite scene in the film is towards the end, and I mentioned this to you after the first viewing of the film. It's there's an interaction between Vanessa Kirby and her mother towards the end, and they're kind of both. The mother's talking about how she struggled growing up as a child and how she had to have thick skin. She had to have thick skin and bravery to get through the poverty in her life growing up. And she's almost diminishing what's happened to her daughter so far in her life and saying you need to be braver, you need to be more bold, And there's this great kind of standoff between the two characters, and that for me, I got a lot out of that scene. I thought that was a really good standoff, and just the relationship between the mother and the daughter is brilliant. Yeah.
I like the scene at the end in the trial.
The courtroom,
the courtroom when Vanessa Kirby's character just goes out there and says it's nobody's fault, and that scene is really good.
That was a bit of a clarity at the end of the film. That was a bit.
It's a good film. It has its ups and downs, but I think it's going to be a good viewing for a specific type of person.
Yeah, either you like say maybe the fertility aspect. You know what I mean? If you have a child or you're going to have a child, you like it then. Also, as you said, if you like Shia LaBeouf or Vanessa Kirby, or you're just a fan of acting, watch this film. But if you're going just straight into film as just a film about reality and storylines, you might come away with the same sense of feeling of this could have been better. You know what I mean? It could have been. There's a lot of lost potential.
Cool. So, Pieces of a Woman on Netflix, and thanks a lot, Basil, and we'll talk next week.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you.
Cheers, man. Bye.